Hello, and welcome to Go, my favorite sports team. The ultimate sports location for you to listen and tune in to two glorious sports people about sportliness and what sports are sport in sportness. That's right. It's about our favorite sports and your favorite sports and all the sports across the globe as we educate you on all the sports in some ways. Anyway, my name's Tyler Scheid. I'm a host, joined by my fellow host, Markiplier.
Hi, that's me. Boy, howdy, am I here.
We ate food, and so we are much more satiated than the last recording.
Mm-hmm, yep.
It was delicious.
It was very good. I'm not going to tell you what it was.
No. So if it's stuck in our teeth, that's your problem, not ours.
Yeah. We're really here for the listeners anyway.
Yeah, the listeners are what matter.
Yeah. Ooh, that was hard.
Hey, watchers are also listening, to be fair. So
No, you can't backtrack this. It's France all over again. They're pissed. All right. I'm chewing right into the mic. I apologize. Cut me out. Delete me.
Make it louder. Blast it, Sam. So, Mark.
What?
Yeah, you have any news or JQs?
I do. I have both.
All right.
Yeah. So apparently someone was saying, and this was 12 days ago, I'm a little behind on JQs, right? The knowledge of a college team beating the dream team was not new news, apparently. There was a documentary in 2012 that already said that the dream team lost to college select team. How long before that? This was public knowledge, is up for more debate, but the documentary treated the loss not as if it was a big revelation, as if they were the ones to reveal it, so probably even before this it is known. Well, I mean, if they were acting like they were the ones to reveal it.
The general public didn't know. So I think a lot of people within the NBA and across basketball may have known, who are constantly in the know as people discussed it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And the production of filming these documentaries and things. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So in the documentary, it also says Chuck Daly, the coach for the Dream Team, limited Michael Jordan's minutes and purposefully did not coach the team and let them play by themselves so they would lose, so that anytime they had anything to say, he could remind the players, you're the best of the best, but you could still lose like you did against the college team. So he wanted, apparently, according to this documentary, he wanted the team to lose.
Maybe that was his way to force them to be coachable, to actually listen to him.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds exactly like
it sounds like it was a smart thing to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have respected his coaching style because he might not have been an NBA coach. He might have been a college coach.
Because in no matter what, if you could be the best basketball player in the world, like this is, but if you don't have a team, you're not going to 1v5 the world, and you're definitely not going to 1v1v1v1v1v5 anything. It's not going to work.
Yeah, and the amount of egos that were on that team were tremendous. So that was also a huge factor. So that's a huge factor, is just making sure that they had egos squashed. I think that was a big part of it, is they wanted to squash the
Which
egos.
does make sense. And this is from Bellathon-EXP, and there is a documentary link that they have that goes to YouTube. It's an hour and 8-minute documentary, so I think it's legit. And so apparently it was not new news, but that's relatively recent.
Yeah. I mean, compared to when the Dream Team actually played, that's relatively recent. Plus, it was the first time I had heard about it, so it hadn't spread around into my ear holes. So I figured I'd share it to your ear holes.
This guy's obsessed with holes. Obsessed, and so am I. Anyway, Patman817 says, JQ's about stoppage time. I have a minor JQ's regarding Tyler's opinion on stoppage time being silly and that they should just stop the clock when there's a stoppage in play. While I agree that actually stopping the clock instead of the ref guesstimating the actual stoppage time might deter time wasting and be more accurate to the actual amount of time needed to be played, stopping the clock introduces a worse potential problem. If they actually start stopping the clock when there is a break in play, it's going to turn into American football, where a commercial break is going to be shoved up your ass every 5 minutes, and during half of the commercial break, the players are going to be standing around waiting for the commercials to end, just like the NFL. One of the nicest things about soccer is that for each half, there are 45 minutes of sport without commercial breaks, unlike most other American sports where it seems that half of the game is actually just commercials. That's true. I did not know. Do the players wait for the commercials to be over?
Yes. If you've ever attended a game, an NFL game, you would see that. There's a whole pause in the game during commercial break. It's called a TV timeout. Now,
What? This is how have we never talked about this in the entirety of this podcast?
You didn't go to the NFL game with me. You got busy.
I wouldn't have even noticed if I was there.
You would have, because I would have called it out.
This is such a revelation. Why
they do it in the NBA too? You've been to multiple NBA games.
I have, but there's usually like dancers come out and there's something happening.
You're subdued by the other entertainment.
Yeah, and I guess that's just because the court is so much smaller than everyone's focused on such a smaller place. Whereas like if you're in a stadium, that's crazy.
Now, to be fair, while that argument is valid, it's highly unlikely because most stoppage time occurs when the ball goes out of bounds and they immediately do a throw-in. They're not going to stop the entire play just before a throw-in to do a TV timeout, just like they don't do that in most basketball games when a ball goes out of bounds or a shot is made. Because every time a shot is made in basketball, the clock stops until they throw it in. So I understand their reasoning. I understand their perspective. That could be a possibility, but stopping the game clock does not necessarily equate to TV timeouts. They do TV timeouts all the time for other reasons, like
I have
injuries.
more excuses, but I still want to know, when did this start? TV timeouts. Because for everyone at home, the experience wouldn't change. For me, I never knew that. I never even guessed that was happening. I always thought there was something being missed in between, or it was like they're like, oh, we got 30 seconds for this, we got to squeeze it in. Because the commercial breaks were never long. And I was like, oh, they just must be opportunistic about it. I didn't know that they were changing the entire system to get those in. That's crazy.
Yeah.
When did they start that? Can you
probably with the advent of massive broadcasting for TV.
Okay. Anyway, while you look that up, I'll get the next one. Bacon 8 or 45 says
1950s.
Damn, so that long.
The invention of the TV timeout during the 1957 and 1958 NBA season.
God, capitalism is just so pervasive. Crazy. Anyway, Baconator 45 says, in relation to the most recent episode, Dumb and Dangerous, you, Markiplier, stated that big game hunting was awful and that we shouldn't do said activity. This is wrong. In the context of conservation efforts, hunting is one of the best things for the ecosystem. It helps populations and diseases from getting out of control. I will admit trophy hunting may be seen as unethical, but even then, when an animal's meat is unable to be used, why not use the antler's bones to create a piece of artwork? In the case of CWD, chronic wasting disease, hunting is one of the only things we can do as humans to mitigate the spread. The effects of this disease are irreversible and incurable. It literally eats the mind of the poor. Now, I can't remember what I said here, but I remember what I said on Distractable, which was like, put a gun in the hand of every American, have them go kill one deer. They gotta die. Kill all the deer. Kill all the deer. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. So I'm confused as to where this opinion is coming from.
They don't understand what big game hunting has nothing to do with deer. Deer are not big game. Big game hunting is like elephants, lions, like you're killing, generally speaking, endangered species.
Oh, yeah, that's awful.
That's big game hunting. Deer hunting is not big game.
No.
Deer are not big game.
I'm totally understanding of the need to cull certain populations in terms of balancing ecosystems.
You want to know why that happened, though?
Which one?
Why we have to cull them now?
Deer?
Because we overhunted wolves and we made other animals extinct because they're killing our livestock. So really, it's our fault that we're causing this issue. Yeah. So if we hadn't done trophy hunting or big game hunting to begin with, this wouldn't be a fucking problem. Sorry, I'm very angry about the killing of the wolves population throughout history.
I can't stand. That's why I'm like,
because they would get killed and eaten by the wolves because they were sickly and couldn't keep up.
Yeah,
nature would take care of itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I when I was doing research on guns, like, there would be channels, of course, about guns that were related to hunting, and I'm like, they would be like, I got all these coyotes, and it would make me so sad because anytime I see a coyote, it's just a wild dog, and like,
it's doing what its nature is. It's hunting for food, which is a part of the balanced ecosystem.
Yeah.
Before we fully disrupted everything.
I think I mentioned this to someone. I wasn't sure if it's you, but we have a security camera recording of a coyote that went in our backyard and started playing with Chica's toys, like throwing him around, was actually playing with him. And I'm like, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. Well, not that much because I'm sure they steal plenty of toys if they really wanted toys. They probably even took one when they were doing
They steal plenty of small dogs too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like circle of life. It's not cruel. It's just what it is. But it's like also at the same time, it's like, man, if you're going out there and hunting those just for the sake of sport. That bothers me. There's a purpose. There's a purpose for a lot of things. There's a purpose to have guns. There's a purpose for a hunter to protect their livestock. I understand that, but the kind of going beyond that is just.
You want to know what's crazy? Livestock also used to protect itself until we bred them to be docile and stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not too many things that are going to try to tackle with a herd of cows, but yeah, I get that with like sheep and other kinds of livestock. And also like having a dog that is meant for protecting livestock is a much better way to do it, because most of the time it's just like they get in a fight and then they go off. Unless it's that Great Pyrenees that fucked those coyotes up.
Oh, you
know about that story? Oh yeah, I forget what his name was, but it was like there was a pack of something like 12 to 15 coyotes, and there's some video of it fighting in the distance. The Great Pyrenees not only killed like 10 of them right then and there, it went in the woods and it hunted down the rest and it killed all of them. And it came back. The Great Pyrenees. Look, Lucy was a Great Pyrenees. Lucy passed away about 1.5 years ago now, but she's huge, and she was like a small one.
Yeah,
she was a small one.
I mean, Bernese mountain dogs are the same thing. They were like, there are dogs that are specifically about protecting the herd and alerting and doing all of that stuff, and they keep them away because they can absolutely kill wolves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, and that's the whole point of them and why they were bred to be that way.
Yeah.
But going down and hunting and killing all wolves because they're attacking and killing one cow, that's where the problem persisted.
There's a really good comic about that from the perspective of one of those dogs protecting the herd. And it both has a comic about it convincing some wolves to not even try.
Yeah.
And then it has another one where a wolf's dead in the snow and the sheep are like, good riddance, it was a monster. And the dog's like, me and the wolf are not so different. Like maybe you would, if I were hungry out there, maybe I'd be snatching you up in the night.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's just like, those two comics by themselves are just really good for anyone, but maybe a kid to understand the nature of nature and like the relationships between animals that live in nature.
Well, that's the thing. One of the biggest things, if you've ever seen what Yellowstone used to look like, and then they reintroduced wolves and how much growth, shrubbery and stuff, because they culled the elk population because they were killing the weak ones, they were killing the young, like it was creating that balance back.
Yeah.
You want to know what immediately happened after that?
Did they kill the wolves?
Idaho started having wolves get into their area because they were reintroduced, so the wolves will eventually move and reproduce and populate across the states. It's not like they're going to stay on one side of the river or whatnot.
Yeah.
Then they were like, we need licenses to go and kill all of the wolves in Idaho because they were getting their livestock. Instead of finding another solution, like maybe finding other ways to protect your livestock, no, let's just kill the thing that's taking our free.
It definitely wasn't they were killing all their livestock.
Correct.
It was just killing some, and no one could be like, that's my property. Kill them all.
Yep.
Now, there is one exception.
And it did get approved, by the way, for them to go and hunt and kill off all the wolves.
There is one exception to this that I'm interested in your opinion on. I forget which province in Canada, but one of them has no rats.
Oh, yeah.
No rats. None. Because they are fucking serious about that shit. And that has done a lot of good, I think, for that province in terms of like disease prevention of spread and things like that. Probably some bad things too, but I'm not 100% sure that rats are kind of like wolves in this relationship where they're culling a natural population like this. I'm not 100% sure, because you have another problem with like cats and killing everything in cities and whatnot, but that province has no rats.
I mean, Disneyland has no rats.
How do they get rid of them?
The rumor is they have a bunch of cats that they release at night, and they go and get all the rats, and then they somehow call them all back to come in and trap them again. They call them all back. All the cats come back.
Bullshit. Yeah. Plus, you could have a drone with like a thermal camera on it, and you would be able to see if there were actually cats around there. But anyway, so that's just something else. Didn't mean for this to turn into this big discussion.
No, but it is a big discussion that needs to be had, because they didn't understand what big game hunting meant. And then they got into, well, we have to do this now. Well, the reason we have to do that is because we ruined it to begin with. And that's the part a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are like, yeah, we hunt because we have to. We should kill animals. And I'm like, yes, in some ways for needs. Yeah, like you kill a deer, you eat its food, you take care, use everything that you get from the animal. I'm always a firm believer that there's no reason to kill something just to kill it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's a pest, the rabbit in the backyard. My brother and I killed a rabbit in the backyard, but we made rabbit stew.
Yeah.
Like, it became something we used. It wasn't something that was wasted.
Yeah.
The problem is with big game hunting, the majority of what happens is they kill it. If you watch Kraven the Hunter, which is a movie that just came out, they killed stuff and just took the horns and left the body to rot. That's usually trophy hunting or what I would call big game hunting.
Yeah,
and why it's bad.
I don't like any of that. I don't think that there's any purpose for it other than, and you can be honest with yourself and you could say just like, I want to go kill something. And it's like,
so that I can feel superior.
Not even that. I mean, okay, this is a whole other consideration. I'm not defending it anyway, but I understand like we are also beings that live in this, and the base thing is there is not an outlet for that primal, like, I need to kill to survive that people have. I do think that we detach ourselves from that because society creates a system where we can get our food separately from, or we get our food not from the killing of the food. And we have those degrees of separation. That's what a lot of people are trying to get back into. So I get that there is this primal thing about being alive where you're like, I instinctively need to kill things to live. That's always been part of life on this planet until society came around.
It's just natural instinct. It's in every animal.
Yeah. But trophy hunting, we should be smart enough and understand like that is not purposeful. You can live your life where you need to hunt to survive, and that is perfectly valid if that's how you live your life. If you want to be off grid or at least detached from the supermarket and you want to have that relationship with your food because we all need to eat, then that's purposeful. If you go out in the woods and you're just killing something because you like to see them explode, that's fucked up.
Or even if you're killing them just because they have ivory in their tusks or horns.
That's even worse. Yeah.
Yes. That's what we term poaching.
Yeah.
And why the black rhino is probably going to be extinct. Extinct.
Anyway, this is a whole bunch of other opinions and people are all like, blah, blah. I don't care.
Yeah. So anyway,
but deer, kill them all. Kill them dead. Because there's a purpose. Deer. You know why? It's because the prions are going to come for us next. Kill them. Kill them all.
The deer. It's going to be Bambi's revenge. Have you seen the trailer for that movie?
No, I think maybe that sounds familiar.
The horror movie of like Bambi's revenge. Because the Disney, the intellectual property. Yeah, the rights.
There's a third horror Winnie the Pooh movie coming.
Oh yeah.
So stupid.
Yes.
Or maybe it's not. Who knows?
Anyway, news?
Yeah, I do have news, but I don't know how much time.
2 minutes.
So international stuff we didn't cover last time. In Formula One, Oscar Piastri grabs maiden win at Bahrain Grand Prix.
Does maiden win mean his first win?
I'm assuming that's what it means. Yeah. His first Formula One victory by winning the Bahrain is correct. Bahrain Grand Prix, an early season race in the 2025 F1 calendar. The 23-year-old McLaren driver put in a commanding performance at Sakir, reportedly securing pole position and then converting it into a race win. I don't know what pole position is.
Pole position is your starting position. It's based on track times, so you usually have to get a fast time to get to the front of the pole position. So, like, you're positioning at the start of the race.
Gotcha. Okay. Cricket, record low total defended in IPL. A historic feat unfolded in the Indian Premier League, where the Punjab Kings defended a mere 111 runs, the lowest total ever successfully defended in IPL history.
They held the team to 111 runs. Is that what you just said?
I don't even know what I just said.
How many? What was the number of runs?
111 runs.
Okay, so they held their opposition to only score 111.
Oh, so this is a good thing.
Yes.
So it was a dominating performance.
It was a fantastic bowling outing and defensive effort.
Gotcha. Okay, so Punjab bowled out KKR for 95 to snatch a stunning 16-run victory. Kolkata collapsed from 62 to 2 to 95 all out. Again, this is the same.
Those numbers, that's so confusing.
Last time I reported cricket, I'm like, oh, I don't know what the numbers mean.
I listened to it, by the way, after the episode.
Yeah.
And I started to understand because sixers are when you hit it out on a fly. So, like, you know how you have the border in cricket? A six is if you hit it over the boundary without it hitting the ground first. 4 is if it rolls over that boundary. So 6s were what you were mentioning before in the other one, and I remembered what it was.
Okay. And then update on soccer. The Champions League semifinals are set after thrillers. This might be outdated by now, but Europe's top soccer competitions saw more high drama. Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain advanced to the UEFA Champions League semifinals. Barcelona survived a scare against Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund won 3-1 behind a hat trick from Serhu Guirassy.
Sugarasi?
Serhu Guirassy. 2 names.
All right.
But Barca still prevailed 5-3 on aggregate. So over because they play multiple games on aggregate, they've scored a total of 5 to the other people's 3, even though they just lost 3-1. They had a total of more.
So they're the ones that advanced.
So they advanced because they had 4 more points prior to this.
Correct.
Okay. Then PSG staved off Furious comeback from underdogs Aston Villa. That's pretty much the news. There's some stuff to look forward to, but it's already happened, so it's too late.
Cool. Well, today we have a new sport. Relatively new, actually, in the grand scheme of the universe of sports that have existed over time. A relatively new and thriving sport. One that my dad joyfully enjoys.
Joyfully enjoys?
Yes, I just liked it. He joyfully enjoys it. And it's one that I have played myself, and it's actually quite fun.
All right.
It's one that I would call is like table tennis, but you're on the court. And that is pickleball.
Pickleball.
What do you know or think you know about
Is this
pickleball?
the one that's in an enclosed room?
No, that's racquetball.
Is this the one with the big hoop arms?
No.
You got the big scoops?
No, that's what is that one called? I can't think of it.
I don't know.
Ali. That's it. That's
Okay.
the one with the scoop. Jai Ali, I think.
Is pickleball... What is pickleball then? I thought it was the one in the room.
Pickleball is a game that is named after a dog's ball.
Pickles? Like
his name was Pickles.
Not his balls.
And it was his ball, his toy ball.
Okay.
That a family apparently got bored. This is the story that I've heard. Got bored on a vacation, and Pickle's ball was there, and Pickle was there as well. And they decided to start hitting Pickle's ball like a racket with a paddle, like a ping pong paddle, on a tennis court, and thus creating this new sport of pickleball. This is a pickleball court. As you can see, there are a few different lines, but generally the court length is 44 feet and 20 feet wide.
Is that the same as a tennis court?
It's smaller. It's smaller. Each side, the width is split into 2, and you have your service areas. When you serve the ball, you have to, much like tennis, you have to cross over that line to have a proper service. Now, there's also a front area towards the net that's 7 feet from the net is a line. And within that 7 feet, it's called the kitchen. Or, because of how it's used, is the no volley zone, which means you cannot be in that zone and hit it on a fly. It has to bounce first. Now, if you also step into it after hitting it on a fly, that becomes an illegal hit, and thus the point is awarded to the other team.
Interesting. Okay. So is there something like that in tennis?
No.
Okay, so but ping pong has a rule where it has to bounce, except when it doesn't.
Ping pong, you can hit it on the fly or on a bounce.
Okay, interesting. And so tennis, you can hit it on
a fly or on a bounce.
So this is the only one that has a no
correct
zone for it. You can do it outside of it, but just in this zone, you cannot.
If you are stepped in that zone 1 foot, even by a slight amount, you cannot hit it on a fly.
What if you're leaning over it into the zone?
You can lean over as long as your feet are not in there, and after you hit the ball, you do not step into the zone. Okay. It is a fair hit.
What if you
jump all the way across the net,
jump, and then you bounce off the net, do a backflip back into your
no, because if you touch the net is considered.
What if you do a double air jump and you're like, you jump up, hit it, jump off the air backwards?
That would be fair. You didn't touch in the zone. If you're gonna air jump,
I found how I'm gonna win.
All right. So to begin the game, you have a teammate. Each of your teams, your start behind the baseline.
Okay.
At the beginning, one person will serve. It's called 1-0 start. Or it's 0-0 start. So the way you say in pickleball, you say the score, just like you would in table tennis or ping pong.
Sure.
Your score, their score, and then the serve. That's the added thing in pickleball. You say the serve number. So at 0-0 start, it's like competing for volley, but the team that scores the point gets to continue service. This is a unique situation because at 0-0 start, once that service is lost, say you score points on the start, but then the other team hits it back like volleyball and they score a point against you, they earn the serve but do not get a point. Normally, each team gets 2 serves because of two attempts at serving. So if there's a side out, like in volleyball, where the opposing team who didn't serve scores a point, also like tennis, they would earn the serve, right? And you can only score in tennis by serving the ball. It's the same thing in pickleball. So 0-0 start, I serve, you score a point on the start. So then no points are actually scored. I should not say scored a point. You side out. You basically, the ball bounces on my side and I can't return it.
Okay.
You would then earn the serve.
Okay.
If you failed, then your teammate gets a serve. If they failed, then it goes to the other side. So each team, each person gets to serve before a full side out is accomplished, where the serve is transferred to the other team. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think
It's a lot of words.
No, I got it. I'm good.
The basic thing is you need what is a paddle. It's not a racket. It's like a ping pong paddle, but it's bigger. Okay. In fact, I actually have one. I'll go get it. And I'll show you what a pickleball is.
Oh, what a treat. Real physical props. Is this because you've been playing?
Yeah, I have been playing. Yeah.
He says, I have been playing, yes. I'm closing my eyes.
I'm going to hand you the ball first.
Okay. Oh, it's hollow? It's like a wiffle ball.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like a wiffle ball.
And this is a paddle.
This just feels like a ping pong paddle. Oh, it basically is.
Yes, it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it has, if you feel it, it's not a rubber surface. It's got some rough.
Feels like wood more. Maybe some kind of.
Yeah, it's wood.
Yeah, it feels like wood.
And you can feel like the grip on it. The paddle actually has not just on the handle, but the paddle.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it's not sandpaper, but.
It's got some grip to it.
Yeah, so when you hit, you can put spin on the ball like you would in table tennis.
I could never put consistent spin on anything. Well, that's cool.
So, that's the paddle. And that's the ball.
That's neat.
So, this is called a Durafast 40. It's a considered a competitive level ball, and you'd play with it.
Okay.
Most balls are either going to be yellow or green.
Uh-huh.
Depending on visibility, because there are also indoor balls, which are a little bit different. But the majority of pickleball is played outdoors.
I see.
I first heard about pickleball when I was in grad school, and you can also look at the ball. The holes have different sizes.
They do.
They're not all the same.
That's odd. I wonder why. Huh. They don't look very regular either. Maybe that's just because it's been hit.
No, that's a brand new ball. I just got it out.
Weird. Why is it so different and it looks so random?
Wait,
it's not random. There's a ring
There's
of
a
larger
pattern,
ones,
yeah.
And then I see. Okay. I don't know what that would do though.
It's just about how the air is affecting it, so it doesn't like curve generally, has better,
Huh.
And you can obviously curve it by hitting it a certain way. So wind is a factor when you play outdoors. The first time I heard about this, I was in grad school and I worked at the Greeley Recreation Center in the city of Greeley. And people would be playing it indoors. And that's the first I heard about it. I never really explored it. I never really figured out what it was, but I knew there were lines on the basketball court for pickleball. And these were those lines, which is the non-volley zone, your center lines for your side lines, and your outside line. Generally, pickleball paddles, carbon fiber, fiberglass, and wood. Those are the 3 main types. I'm pretty sure this one is a lightweight wood. Exact size can vary, but generally the width can't be over 2 feet, 24 inches. and the max length can't be over 17 inches. But there is no restriction on how thick the paddle can be. So there are different paddles, but you usually want something lighter because you want to be able to swing it. And pickleball is a hard plastic ball between 26 and 40 holes. This one has 40 holes.
Okay.
That's why it's called the Durafast 40. 26 for outdoor balls and 40 for indoor balls. I don't know if that's completely accurate because this is an outdoor ball. And the diameter is between 2.87 and 2.97 inches and weigh between 0.78 ounces and 0.94 ounces.
That's quite a bit of variance for what should be a standardized ball.
I think different regions have different balls and regulations for them, but I'm pretty sure this has 40 holes. It says Durafast 40, but this is definitely an outdoor ball. So
I'll count.
All right. I think there's less than 40
You only
on
need
there,
to count
actually.
half of it and then double it. So
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, that does not have 40.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 38.
38?
38.
Close to 40.
36. Sorry, 18 times 2. Editor, cut that out. Make me think. Holy shit.
No, do it again.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, 38. 19.
38.
Right. Almost. I was right.
You were right. You're doing great. You're doing great. So, according to regulation rules, in competitive play, minus what I said was casual play, there's actually a coin toss to determine who gets the first serve.
Okay.
And they go through the first service. The winner of the toss serves. First serve are made on the right side of the court behind the baseline. So you always are on the right side to start. There's 2 serves you can choose from. A volley serve, which is under, like a volley serve where you do that out of the air. And then there's the bounce serve where you drop it, it bounces off the ground, and you serve it.
Right. Okay.
The server's arm must be moving upward. You cannot overhand serve.
Interesting.
And you cannot go completely sideways. It has to be underhand.
Interesting.
No matter which way you do it, drop serve or volley serve, it has to be underhand.
Okay.
So, and the contact with the ball has to be below the waist. You cannot hit it above your waist, which is why no overhand or anything like
I see.
that. The opposing team then must allow the serve to bounce before hitting it back, and the team that served must allow it to bounce before hitting that back. This is the 2 bounce rule. You cannot volley until that point. So that way the server has to stay back behind the line. If you rush forward, they can hit it deep, and it's really hard to return off a bounce when you already have moved forward. But the goal is to rush towards the volley line as soon as you are able to volley, because that's when you can actually hit the ball hard, and then you can do what are called like drop shots or the dink shot, which is where you hit it angled wise and try and keep it as close to the net as possible so that they have to hit it off the bounce.
I see, yeah.
The short game and the less aggressive game that's played in that way is mostly done by women's teams. Men like to hit hard. It's just reality. They want to do a lot of the hard volleys overhand. And there are a lot of fast play that occurs once somebody hits a volley, a ball in the air, that'll go back and forth, hard and hard, back and forth for a while. But when you're calling before the serve, you score. So if you lose the serve, say if I didn't win a point and I served and they hit it on my side, the serve then goes to my teammate. And it would be, they would say the score and then 2 because they are the second server of that time. Now, every time you score a point, you serve from the other side of the court. So you always start, the first serve is always served in the right side. If I serve and I score a point, I then move and serve from the left service area. If I score there, I move right. If I move back, I serve from the left. Say I move to the left and then they score a point, and then my teammate serves and they still score. They don't score a point. They basically, I don't win a point on my serve.
I gotcha.
Okay.
I got it.
Then my teammate serves. They don't win a point. And then the serve goes to the other team. And you have service number 1. If they score a point, they could continue their switch on their side. And until they don't score a point. And then their teammate serves until they don't score a point, and then it goes back. And the person who's at the right service area is the next server, no matter what. So just because I served first does not mean I am always the first server for my team. It's based on where you are position-wise
I see.
in the rotation. And you stay assigned your side no matter if you switch during volleys, during like hits back and forth.
I gotcha.
So if you were serving and say my team had scored 2 points and your team had scored 5, and you are the first server, you would say 5-2-1.
5-2-1.
If you were the second,
5-2-1.
5-2-1.
First serve. I have 5. You have 2. It's the first serve of this volley.
Correct. Now, if you were the second server, like even if you scored a point, then it would be 6-2-1 still.
Mm-hmm.
It's once it became your teammate's serve, and they would say 6-3-2 or whatever the score was.
I'm trying to find pickleball courts near here.
There's one in the mostly country clubs out here in LA, unfortunately.
Do tennis courts sometimes have like pickleball lines in them now, or?
Yes, some do. That is not pickleball lines.
Yeah, this is
so
tennis.
The reason that tennis court has so many lines, it's about the farther wide lines are doubles play versus singles play.
Right.
So that's why those are there.
Gotcha.
You can also do lob shots, which are usually you want to hit it over somebody's head so that they can't smash it in your face.
That's pickleball. Found it.
That is pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yes.
I'm not gonna show
And you can see the red lines on that court are pickleball courts.
Okay. So the red lines being like the no-no zones, the kitchen. Why is it called the kitchen?
I'll look that up real quick because I don't know if I have that here. Oh, wait, I might have it here. History of pickleball. So why is the game called pickleball and where did it begin? On Bainbridge Island near Seattle, Washington in 1965, a guy named Joel Pritchard and his buddy Bill Bell were hanging out at Joel's home and they were bored. Their families were bored. There was an old badminton court on the property, but two friends couldn't scrounge up a full set of rackets, so they ended improvising with ping pong paddles and a plastic ball with holes in it that they found, a wiffle ball, supposedly by the dog named Pickle. This is not in this history, though.
Yeah.
It says the next week, then another friend, Barney McCallum, joined the friends and their families on the island, and the three men came up with the rules. There are two different stories for how pickleball got its name. Joan Pritchard, Joel's wife, said that she named the game after the pickle boat in rowing, which is a boat that is made up of the leftover oarsmen from other boats that make up the team in a rowboat. Meanwhile, Barney McCallum said the name came from Pritchard's dog Pickles, who would chase the ball and run off with it.
So this is all based on lies. No one knows the truth. This is ridiculous.
So in 1967, the first permanent pickleball court was built in Joel Pritchard's backyard, and the sport began to spread throughout Washington over the next decade, and the first tournament took place in 1976. Many of the participants were college tennis players who knew very little about pickleball, and they had practiced with large wooden paddles and a softball-sized plastic ball for the tournament. Now, this sport has since grown in popularity and easily is a sport anyone can play if you have a tennis court, and a lot of places now have official pickleball courts being built. Especially is very good for people who are older because it's less hard on the knees and it's not played as fast as tennis. You're not having to run as much because it's a smaller court and you have a teammate.
I see.
And in 2005, the USA Pickleball Association was established. It's now so popular that it's played in 73 countries, with at least 50 million in the US alone having played pickleball at some point. It's really fun. I do enjoy it. There were almost 70,000 pickleball courts in the U.S. as of 2024, and over 18,000 pickleball courts were built in 2024. So who knows how many more have popped up in these months that we've been in 2025. And while it isn't an Olympic sport yet, it could become one as early as the 2032 games.
I see.
We've covered like the basic scoring. Scoring is only by the serving team. 1 point is scored at each time. So once a service happens, if it's served out of bounds, no point is scored. It just goes to the next service person. And if they don't score, then the other team gets to serve. Games are played to 11 points, and you must win by 2. Tournament games sometimes can be played to 15 or 21, still winning by 2. When the serving team score is even, the player who was the first server for that team will always be on the right side of the court. So it's talking about how you switch sides.
Yeah.
So if you score a point, then you move to the left side on an odd number, then you're serving from the left side. The score is always called as 3 numbers, like I said. The score is whoever's serving, you say that score first, the receiving team's score, and then in doubles, you say the server number, if you are server number 1 or server number 2, which I explained. To start the match, the score is called 0-0-2. The 2 indicating the second server means the serve will go to the other side when a serve is lost, which is what I was explaining with 0-0 start.
I see.
That's also a very common one used.
Okay.
Because no matter what, in that circumstance, once that point is lost from the service, the other team gets to serve.
I see.
It's a very simple game. The 2 bounce rule, if it bounces twice in your court, by the way, that's a point. If it goes outside the line without hitting the court first, much like table tennis, no point is scored. The team who served always is the point scoring. So if I served and I served it out of bounds, no points scored.
Gotcha.
It's a side out. But if I serve it inbounds and it lands in the kitchen on the serve, also an illegal serve, that's a side out. If it doesn't go to the opposite side, so if I'm serving from the right and it doesn't land on the left side of their center line, that's no legal serve.
That is similar in other rules that do this.
Yeah, tennis is the same way. If it hits the line, that is considered in the kitchen, if it's that front line. If it hits the center line, that's considered in on a serve, like the split line down the baseline. Same with the baselines on the outside. Line is in.
Line's in.
Pickleball is one of the most unique sports in that is still run by the honor system. There are no line judges. It is scored based on what people see. So if I'm on top of it and you hit the ball and I see it land out of bounds, I say it's out. And that's all. There can be an argument, there can be a discussion, but it's an honor system. And usually people don't cheat. At the higher levels, they might. But there have been times when I argued with my dad about something being in, but that's because he's my dad.
Right, of course. And
again, the non-volley zone is you can't serve into it. And you cannot stand in it and hit the ball on a fly. Line calls contacted any line out except for the non-volley zone line is considered in, like I said. There are a bunch of different things that are faults. So basically this is what I called a side out. Serve doesn't land within the confines of the court. So if I serve it out of bounds, the ball is hit into the net, it's a side out. If the ball is volleyed before a bounce has occurred on each side, so say you let it bounce, hit it back, and then I hit it on a fly, that's a side out because I didn't obey the 2 bounce rule. It has to bounce on my side first. If I stepped into the hit it on a fly in the non-volley zone, if it bounced twice in my court or bounced twice in general, at least one in the court, the first one, if it hits you, that is a way to score a point. So if I hit the ball and it hit your body, that's my point.
Oh, no!
So that is a strategy. The ball could strike anything that you're wearing or carrying, by the way. And then if the ball strikes any permanent object before bouncing on the court, you can't do bank shots.
I see.
Those are the main ways, but it's a really fun game. Basically like tennis. You hit it back and forth and score points. Only the person serving and the team serving can score.
How much did that paddle cost you?
This was a Christmas gift from my dad.
Oh.
So he even used the label maker and put my name on it.
That's very nice.
And he gave me balls. I still have yet to play with this paddle.
Ah, I see. How much would a paddle cost?
You can find them at most retail stores now. They're at Walmart, they're at Target, they're at Dick's Sporting Goods. You can get some cheap ones. They can get really expensive when you get really, really good ones.
Well, let's say it's like a used one, Play It Against Sports or eBay or something like that.
Yeah. So let me just look up pickleball paddles. Like the one I bought my dad for Christmas was like $200.
Okay.
But a basic one, you can get them for like decent ones for like $30-$40.
I'm looking on eBay. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, there's some really expensive ones that are like fine-tuned.
Pickleball paddle set of 4 for $70. We got what looks to be cheap one but carbon fiber, $28. You know, that's not too bad. $26.99 for another. It's got good ratings. So yeah, not terribly expensive. I imagine the balls are like
The balls, you can get the X40 Franklin Sports ones. It's looks like it's a set of 12 for $27. But you can get Peak outdoor pickleballs 4-pack for $6.
And then there are courts that are available to the public, right? Outside
Yes,
courts.
there are a lot of publicly available courts where you just show up and play. I have never met people that I did not enjoy like playing pickleball with. Most people are extremely friendly. Some people can be nasty because people are people.
It's a sport, yeah.
But generally speaking, people are very welcoming to newcomers in this sport, especially since it's relatively new and it's a fun time.
I see.
But I'd love to get some people to play pickleball out here. In fact, I know of a creator group that goes and plays pickleball every Friday. So if you'd ever want to go with me, we could play.
That's always a possibility.
So I've got a number of friends out there that played, including the people that handle our merch.
Oh.
So they're good people.
That's nice.
But yeah, pickleball is a very accessible and fun sport.
Donk. I'm playing too. Editor, put a pickleball paddle in my hand. Why'd you make me bad, editor? Why'd you make me miss that? Why'd you do that?
But yeah, there's a bunch of different strategies. You can put spin on the ball. You can do backspin. You can do what's a drop shot by using the spin of the ball to make it drop faster. Obviously, spiking the ball is key.
Obviously.
Hitting it on the fly.
Obviously.
And then there's the lob. If I get out of position and you're my teammate, you want me, like I had to run to get a ball. You usually want to use a lob so I can get back into position to defend. So lofting it high in the air to allow me time is a strategy.
Gotcha.
And then you can use it offensively because the strategy is to get to the front line. Hitting it over them and hitting it towards the back line, if you can hit that, is a great way to force the opposition away from that volley line and have to play it off the bounce and run backwards.
I see.
Because otherwise it just becomes a whack it as hard as you can fest.
Who doesn't love that?
Who doesn't love that?
Let's all whack it as hard as we can.
And as fast as we can.
As fast as we can.
Collectively. But that's pickleball.
All right, cool. I don't think anybody can complain about that, can you? I know it now. Right?
Yeah, I think you do.
I do. So, thank you. And thank you for listening and or watching. Remember to follow the podcast so you can know more about sports. Sports news, every other sport podcast will end soon. So we're your only option.
They're just so afraid of how great this one is.
Yeah. They're going to give up prematurely.
Yeah.
They almost had us on the ropes. We were done for until they are going to quit.
Yeah. What? No.
Yeah.
No.
It was a close call, but we got them eventually in the future.
What? No.
Yeah.
Share it with a friend. Showcase the most amazing and best sports podcast ever known to mankind, humankind, animal kind, alien kind. They all love us. So will your friends. Introduce us. Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Go. Let's go around again.
Woo! More pickleball. No, but thank you guys so much for listening. If you have comments, episode suggestions, news across the world, because thanks to Mark, we're getting more international news, but you can provide us with more just by going on the Reddit, reddit.com/r/gmfst. And you too can get cool shirts and hats and pins. I don't even know if we have hats anymore right now, but you can get cool stuff at store.gmfst.com.
Sounds pretty cool.
But that's going to be it. Mark and I are going to go play pickleball now.
No way.
And by that, I mean I'm going to now come after him with my paddle.
Okay.
Bye.